most people are still apologizing because they're not in alignment with their true authentic self. They're still not in alignment. So that's why they're still apologizing.
Yeah.
And that can be challenging because you could be 1 foot in and 1 foot out. And I'm going to tell you why I was not living unapologetically yet. I opened Happy Whole You, the very first one, in 2018. I did not leave my career till 4 years later.
Okay.
I was 1 foot in and 1 foot out, always justifying what I was doing, where I was at, how I was showing up, because I had this other career.
Yeah.
And then I also had this side thing going on, and I could call it like, yeah, this is my side business. This is a freaking company. This was $1 million company.
This is not just a side hustle.
I was treating it like, and it was my dream. And I was treating it like, oh yeah, I'm just doing this little thing. No, I was big. The moment I became unapologetic is when I stepped into it and fully believed in myself and said, I am going to do this thing. And I'm stepping into it fully. And that didn't happen until I was 40. So I understand the scarcity. I understand the fear when you have a family and you have bills and you have all of these things going on. And I'm going to walk from that. I spent 18 years of my life getting myself to a position of the title, of the money, of all of the things. And I'm going to walk from that. That's where society brainwashes us.
Hello, welcome back to the F.E.E.L podcast today. I'm your host, Melissa Crook. I'm here with a friend that I met through one of these collaborations that I'm so fortunate to do. It was through the Power of Just One ×2 event. It was the second one of these through Lulu Agan, who's a woman that I met earlier in 2025, who was just doing really important work for women in the world. And she invited myself and my guest today, Dr. Anna Marie Frank, into this journey with her, this conference that was virtual. And Anna Marie and I were both able to contribute to it, but also Lulu provides a great platform where we all get to meet each other and connect with each other. And so as we were sharing our stories, we realized we only live 90 miles apart. Like that was just wild because the women in this conversation are literally from all over the world. So I DM'd her. I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm in Fresno. And after listening to her story, I'm like, oh, I knew I wanted to talk to her more. And so we did connect. We were able to talk. I've been able to be a guest with her on her really powerful, important podcast, the Happy Whole You podcast. And now she gets to be with me. So I'm welcoming today my new friend, Dr. Anna Marie Frank. Anna Marie, how would you describe yourself? If you were to share your character traits with our audience, how would you describe yourself?
Oh, man. Well, describing myself, I did this exercise once with this gal, and she had us actually describe ourselves like not in the way we would normally describe ourselves. And the way I described myself is I am sunshine and rainbows, bare feet on the grass, coffee in my hand, trying to get to the beach anytime I can, joyful, want to be outside type of gal.
I love that. That just gives me such a warm, sunshiny, kind of cozy feeling for you. And this really goes nicely into, as we kick off this conversation today, we're going to share your story through our talking points and how it is you became the doctor you are today, the unique offerings that you provide that I think 10 to 15 years ago, we were like, oh, that's so woo-woo, to now we're like, no, that's actually science that has been around for thousands of years. We're just finally connecting back to it. And I think there's this kind of revolution, and you're one of the revolutionaries that he's offering these opportunities to people. But let's go into, you've identified very clearly things that you value, things that fill your cup through how you've introduced yourself. So talk to me about your self-care. You have the kind of job where you're hearing a lot about other people's challenges all the time, which requires that there's an emotional energy that goes with that. And so you already said to me this morning, you've already been out on a hike this morning. You've already rejuvenated your soul before you got into the office today to set yourself for the day. So talk to me about this kind of like the revolution of that, the birth of that, which you realized you needed to fill your soul.
Yeah. I mean, getting here has been, it feels like many, many lifetimes. And the reason I do the work that I do now is because I had to heal my own brain going through challenges in my early 20s and just rediscovering and deprogramming how to be and what's available in terms of holistic healing versus just the Western world of healing.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, the self-care piece is, I used to be kind of a control freak. Like I wanted to control my entire environment, everything with my kids to my husband. And I'm actually actively recovering from that. And what I learned is, I mean, that's more of a PTSD response, if you will, if you want to put it into some type of terminology. But I mean, honestly, through my journey, I've had a lot of what I call emotional concussions. So we look at, I really focus on the brain, emotional brain health, and nobody ever really teaches us that the psychological concussions or the psychological trauma that we go through, how it really impacts our physical body.
Yeah.
And I started to really connect the dots after, my early 20s, my offerings when I was struggling with depression and just not wanting to be alive and just really at a bottom point in my life. It was offered to me to go on SSRIs, medication, antidepressants, Adderall for my ADHD and, these meds. And it was like they wanted to address my brain, telling me I have a brain chemical imbalance, but yet they never scanned my brain, never tested my brain. They just asked questions. And so then it was like I set forth on a journey to figure out, okay, God, you have like this amazing world right here. There's no way you haven't provided these opportunities or things to help us really remedy what's going on within us. And so then, I started to study herbology, energy medicine, Chinese medicine. I just went down all the rabbit holes of holistic health. And slowly over a decade of my life started to heal my brain and to heal myself. And out of that came a beautiful facility called Happy Whole You. And we've opened up a few of them throughout the country. And then during COVID, we actually sold some of them to different doctors. And now it's the one in Bakersfield still open. But nevertheless, the whole journey and the whole process has gotten me to the point where now I work with people and our physical ailments are actually lessons of something psychologically and emotionally stored within us that's causing that physical pain or that discomfort. And now we get to learn how to decode it in a way that we're really never taught, but that going back to ancient wisdom. So I don't know if I answered your question. I kind of went all over the place there, but that's in a nutshell kind of what got me to where I'm at right now. And it was just my own journey.
Yeah. I love that kind of that curiosity that, I mean, and I think that's what women have started to become like, I don't want a Band-Aid. I want to know what's happening here. This wasn't happening before. Why is it happening now? What is going on within my systems? And we're going to get to the mental, emotional, physical health connections in a minute, because this is exactly what you do is you connect the dots on all of that. But before we do that, I want to get into learning about healthy boundaries in your life and the need for that and how to protect your time, your space, surrounding yourself with what fills you up, filling up your energy capsule, learning how to say no to the things that don't serve you. That's also part of this journey of connecting the dots with our mental, emotional, physical, spiritual health.
Yeah, I think, it's not my job to make other people feel comfortable. And that has like taken me a hot minute to get to. We naturally don't want to make other people feel uncomfortable. We want everyone to feel safe and secure and feel good. But we'll do it at the expense of our own safety, security, and us being okay inside. And so I mean, I have a perfect example. When I meet with people, I have zero filter in terms of a one-on-one session.
Mm-hmm.
And I do try to be cognizant of, can this person handle this right now? And literally just yesterday, I had a new hire. We were talking about this right before.
Mm-hmm.
And I do a 2-hour, after they're trained and all that, a 2-hour intake of what I do with clients, just so they know, like, how does someone even get started with me?
Yeah.
And there were things that came up and I had zero filter, which, you know, I guess as her employer, I don't know. But yeah, she sent a letter this morning resigning. And she's resigning because of the awakening that she had from our session about her true authentic self, because she's a people pleaser. And she's realizing that there are some things that she wants to do, but she has been holding herself back from doing them because she thinks her life's supposed to look a certain way. She thinks she's supposed to do X, Y, and Z based on, you know, mom and society and all these things. And it's like, I just want to shake you and say, hey, these physical things you're feeling are completely your responsibility because you're thinking and speaking about your life in this way.
Yeah.
And just connecting the dots, because usually we just want to blame other people or not take that personal responsibility of where we're at. We're like, well, I feel this way, but it's because I'm getting older. It's because of this. And it's really because you're out of alignment with your true authentic self. So when it comes to like my own boundaries, I have had to actively get out of the wanting people to like me, people pleasing mode. And I get to essentially show up as my true authentic self and, you know, help people where they're at. But I also, it's not my job to constantly make people feel comfortable. I feel like it's up to me. Like when people pay me, I'll say this, when people pay me money, big money, to really give them what I do, I can't hold back on that.
Yeah.
You know, I get to share it with them. So yeah, so there's, the whole boundary thing is, you know, I only allow, certain people into my life. I choose the clients that I want to work with, especially like one-on-one clients, like that is a sacred space. And, yeah, I'm no longer trying to please everyone, and no is a complete sentence. And yeah, and it's something you actively work on, because sometimes like your mind tells you one thing, which is like society standards, and then your heart is saying, yeah, this doesn't feel like a yes. But my mind's saying, you know, I should do this. But like, if your core, your heart, your true like gut instinct is like, this is a no, then it's a no. Yeah. But we like try to like in our minds make it turn into a yes and then when we do that, the thing doesn't work out anyways.
Exactly. And I could give so many examples of that in my own life, but I think you said something really important. And I talk about this a lot too. Comfort is really the you can't be comfortable and heal. I don't really believe that you can. And not in it that it's supposed to like, oh, I'm going to inflict physical pain on you. No. You've got to be willing to get curious and get outside of this comfort zone that you've lived in, because it has gotten you to being in Dr. Anna Marie's office today or working with me one-on-one in empowerment sessions. It hasn't served you. And so that also applies to us. And knowing that if you're going to work with me, there's an accountability that goes with it. I love what you said. Like, I run into women all the time who like, I don't have any choices. Yeah, you do.
People don't want to be held accountable, by the way.
Yeah, they don't. I mean, you have choices. You have to be willing to make them and make a choice and then come to an understanding of, will there be consequences? Yes. Does it require you to, if you're not abandoning yourself anymore and you're doing and taking accountability and making choices that are healthy for you, that's the first step. But it requires sometimes most of the time, a lack of comfort. And it also requires us, as we work with people, to be very clear. My PR branding friend really helped me with this. Drea Ginta was fantastic. She's like, we're going to put together she calls it your champagne client. And it's going to help you define and understand who is really equipped to work with you, because you're not for everyone, and that's okay. And that was so helpful because it helped me realize there are people that are going to come to me and I'm going to have to be like, I don't think you're ready for this. And if, so maybe try these things over here, and they get in touch with me, but there are some things I'm going to ask of you that you're not going to be willing to say yes to. And if you can't say yes to those things, that I can't help you. So I think that, and so realizing that, and I think for you as a healthcare practitioner, there's this undefined expectation that kind of comes with it, that I'm supposed to make everybody healthy and comfortable. And it's like, actually, the way I'm going to work with you is going to be a little different than that. And you're going to thank me later, but you're going to have to be willing, and releasing that idea that everybody's going to be for you and everybody's going to be the right match for you.
Yeah. And I think too, it's like we get to pick our hard, it's hard to have those deep conversations. It's hard to hear when we've been getting in our own way, and it's actually us that needs to shape up or ship out or fix some things, because, and it's also hard to blame other people and feel like you're a victim and feel like you can't do anything about it. Yeah. So you get to pick your hard, and I always say we either pay now or we will pay later. I mean, there's certain things that I did in my early 20s that, I am paying for now psychologically. Yeah. There's also some really great things that I sacrificed and I paid for in my early 20s that have given me so much abundance now and opportunity. But with that, I'm not paying for that anymore because it's abundance and opportunity. With the other stuff that I was doing, I'm paying for it now. So it's pay now, pay later, but either way, you're going to pay the piper. I mean, that's what's gonna end up happening. And so, I believe there's no time like the present. The quicker people can wake up, like the quicker you can wake up, like it just can grow exponentially. Yeah. You have a whole lifetime ahead of you. I literally had a client here the other day who's 44 years old, and she is just struggling to even function, does not want to function. And she is beautiful, gorgeous woman. She works from home. And really it came down to, she wants to be a nurse and she works from home and does medical billing, and she is not happy. And I'm like, okay, what's preventing you from going to school to be a nurse and starting and taking one class, just starting with one class? And she's like, oh, well, I'm 44. And I said, okay, excuse me? 44, 54, 64, 74. I mean, you can work till you're 80 if you want to go 84, but if you work till you're 74, that's 30 years. You have 3 decades ahead of you, and you've already decided those 3 decades, you don't get to step into what is calling in your heart. Yeah. That's why you don't feel good inside. You're working from home doing something that doesn't bring you joy. And you have this burning desire. Your kids are grown. They're out of the house. Girl, you have every opportunity now. So I don't know where it came into play that if you don't do something when you're in your early 20s, that for some reason you can't start when you're 40, 50, 60 years old. That is brainwashing. We have the opportunity to step into whoever we are and whatever our heart desires at any moment at any time. Yeah. And I share that also because I was the 40-year-old in an 18-year career, feeling unhappy, unsatisfied. My body started to physically have symptoms of illness because I knew I needed to leave that position. And I held on. I stayed because of the 6-figure income, because of the health benefits, because of the retirement, because check every single box. People were telling me I was crazy if I would walk away from this amazing career. Yeah. But internally, I was literally dying inside. So on my 40th birthday, I wrote in, I didn't even resign. I said, I'm retiring. That's the funny thing. So I was 18 years in this career. I turn in a letter that says I'm retiring. My birthday is October 11th. It was October 11th, 2022. I am retiring. And I send that to them and they're like, okay. And then they come back to me. They're like, hey, by the way, you're too young to retire. We need you to give us a letter of resignation. I said, I will not. I can decide what I'm doing with my life and I'm retiring. Like, this is me in retirement. And I retired into a new career, and it really wasn't even a new career, still in the health and wellness space, but it was, going full time into my company, Happy Whole You. And, my company grew over 100% in that first year of me just choosing to step out to provide space and energy for something new to come in. Because when we have one foot in and one foot out, we can't fully embrace what God has available to us. And that's why we have to jump in and we have to have faith. And yes, we can leverage where we're at and be strategic in it as well. But if fear is the only thing holding you back, like, we have to check ourselves, because we are meant to live in a full expression of who we are and how we help other people.
Yeah. Oh, that's stated so well. And that's really goes into what we'll get to in a bit about living unapologetically. That was a decision that you made that day. But before we do that, I want to go back to that mental, emotional, physical, spiritual health connection. You made that connection for yourself. You saw it and was like, wait a minute, I've not only made it in me, I can now help other people make that as well. I had my own connection with that. I had my own breakdown in the fall of 2019, where these physical manifestations were a direct connection to unresolved trauma and emotions that had been stuffed and living out of everyone else's expectations except for my own. All of that. So you and I have both had our own personal journeys in this that have led us to where we are today. I think it's so important too. I talk to people about this all the time. Emotions are not good or bad. They're clues. They're clues as to what's going on with that. So talk to me a little bit more about when you're working with people to help them see this connection. How do you, it's because we in Western medicine, we separate it all out. It's compartmentalized. And I said a few years ago, I'm like, in my perfect world, my therapist and my medical health practitioner would have a line to each other to talk about, what's going on with Melissa so they can make the connections holistically together. Talk to me about that process you go through when you're meeting with someone to help them make that connection.
Yeah. And honestly, it's getting them to feel that connection. I think because we'll act when we feel. The other thing is our body will always follow what our brain tells it. So when we start to shift the narrative in our mind, it biochemically proven in science shifts how cells are responding. You can shift a thought alone, or you can shift your cells with a thought alone in 150 to 300 milliseconds. So this is called epigenetics. This also goes back to Dr. Emoto's work of water has consciousness, because water can cellularly restructure based on the thoughts and the emotions you're sending the water. And if your body is 70% more water, what do you think your thoughts and your words are doing to your physical body every day?
Sure.
So getting my clients to a space where they can feel and experience what I'm talking about from a healing lens is super powerful, because they're already feeling it from a dis-ease lens, from a pain lens. Yeah. And so if we can flip that and they start to realize, oh my gosh, I have more control over my biology than I ever was taught. Like, this is crazy. Like, they're realizing, like, in time, I can start to heal my body through shifting my thoughts, through shifting my words. And yes, we throw some nutraceuticals at it. We do some visualization work. We do, we have cryotherapy, saunas. We have all of the high tech stuff. But at the end of the day, the medicine is within us. Our brain is the strongest pharmacy on planet Earth. You're choosing what you're dispensing through every thought and every word and every conversation that you're having. And so the moment people realize, like, you hold within you this right of healing and like reprogramming, like, that's when you can step into your power. And that's what I love to help people discover, because I didn't have that. I mean, I actively trial and error and all the things. But what I do now is we can collapse time and you can begin healing immediately. Immediately. And that is just so powerful. And that's what I really like to get clients to step into. And it's really amazing to watch. I mean, give me anyone that has anxiety every day, or they feel anxious like throughout the whole day, or maybe it's more in the morning, more at night. You give me 7 days of them doing like a handful of things, not even a handful of things. Let's see. If you did 1, 2, 3, if you did 3 things every day for 7 days, I guarantee you your anxiousness will reduce 50 to 100%.
Wow.
Like there's so many simple things that we can do. And it's like, we feel like it's not within us, and it really, really is.
Yeah. I think I love that so much. I talk to women about this all the time. You have it all within you. We've just got to help you tap into that. This is another example of that, and how empowering that is when we're able to rewire connections and unlearn and relearn healthy relationships with our emotions and what they mean and how they work on our bodies and how they impact our physical well-being, and how all these systems are constantly in contact with each other. They are not standalone. You're able to bring that all together for them. Going into living unapologetically, you made that decision for yourself at age 40 to make that change. You did it unapologetically. You didn't allow them to talk you out of what you were doing. And you put a new twist, and I think it's happening more and more. This idea of like, we can retire and reinvent ourselves. We can retire. We can go into these new seasons. We can meet ourselves where we are today and show up and align authentically with that. You have done that. And to me, your practice is an outpouring of how you show up unapologetically in the world. And you don't, and I tell women all the time, quit apologizing for showing up and taking up space and making decisions for you that are healthy and well for you. But then you've also taken that ability that you know is within you, and now you're sharing it with other people to help them show up unapologetically. And when you left everything, it's 3-4 years ago now, to go into this space, was happy whole you already in your head and it was just a matter of putting it down and getting it started? Or was it there were a reflection time where you were like, wait a minute, I've done this for me. It's time to help other people with this as well.
Yeah. So 2 things I want to say. One, most people are still apologizing because they're not in alignment with their true authentic self. They're still not in alignment. So that's why they're still apologizing.
Yeah.
And that can be challenging because you could be 1 foot in and 1 foot out. And I'm going to tell you why I was not living unapologetically yet. I opened Happy Whole You, the very first one, in 2018. I did not leave my career till 4 years later.
Okay.
I was 1 foot in and 1 foot out, always justifying what I was doing, where I was at, how I was showing up, because I had this other career.
Yeah.
And then I also had this side thing going on, and I could call it like, this is my side business. And this was a freaking company. This was $1 million company.
This is not just a side hustle.
I was treating it like, and it was my dream. And I was treating it like, oh yeah, I'm just doing this thing, this little thing. No, I was big. The moment I became unapologetic is when I stepped into it and fully believed in myself and said, I am going to do this thing. And I'm stepping into it fully. And that didn't happen until I was 40. So I understand the scarcity. I understand the fear when you have a family and you have bills and you have all of these things going on. And I'm going to walk from that. I spent 18 years of my life getting myself to a position of the title, of the money, of all of the things. And I'm going to walk from that. That's where society brainwashes us.
Yes.
And that is a scary place to be. I think the most scariest place to live is when we're doing something because we're good at it and we do get some joy from it, but it is not like vibrant and exactly where we want to be, because that is a dangerous place to be. Because honestly, I probably, if I didn't wake up, I probably could still be there today. I'd be making good money. I'd have health insurance for the family. I would have all the da 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 da, and people would look at me and think, wow, she's successful. She's got, like I could have very easily stayed and played into that, but my body was telling me, you have to go. Yeah. I had to go. Most people in my situation would say, well, now you really can't go because you need that health insurance.
Yeah.
Because you have all these things going on with your body. So you have to stay. And what's crazy is when I left, those symptoms, those ailments, my blood work got much better. Mm-hmm. And so it's wild because until I experienced it myself, like I don't even like there's like zero words. Like God is living through us and is trying to guide us. And he had so many opportunities for me, but I was so brainwashed that I wasn't awake. And when you become awake, you see where God is showing up. You don't miss all those God winks that are happening. Like he is there. Like this is your divine destiny. Mm-hmm. Like wake up. And so I do think that for us to live unapologetically, we have to be all in. And if you're still apologizing, you're not all in.
Yeah, I love that. And that disassociation piece, because we get this script, go to college, get the degree, buy the car, find the partner, have the kids, get the house, live in the beautiful neighborhood, take the vacations, all these things. And that will make your life wonderful. And no one ever stops to ask you, and you don't stop to ask yourself, how does that feel for me?
Like, is that what I even want?
Exactly. Is that what I even want? Is that in alignment? And then we start wondering 5, 10, 15 years into it, why we're feeling angsty all the time and why we're irritated and why we've got the Sunday scaries and all these things that we hear about that we just decide, oh, it's just part of life. This is just what I have to do, and tell ourselves all these to keep ourselves on this track of what we've been told. And I relate to that so wholeheartedly. I mean, I started the podcast in the summer of 2021. I lost my job unexpectedly in the summer of 2022. And it was only then that I was like, oh, that really wasn't working for me. And the first week out of that environment, everything settled. My blood pressure went down. The anxiety attacks minimized. I mean, all these things. And I was in the process of learning this. I was already talking to other women about the impacts of this, and I'm still living within it myself. And it wasn't until this thing forced me, and I was like, wait a minute, I am missing. And it's kind of like, I share this analogy quite a bit, and we've all heard it. I think you're out at sea and you're lost at sea and you're like, God, where are you? Help me. And he sent the helicopter and he sent the ship and he's sent all these things. And you keep saying, I'm waiting for it. And he's like, I'm right. I'm like, you're
waiting for another boat or something. Like you think it looks a certain way in your head and it's not at all. Because you miss all the other things.
You miss all the other things and your body is screaming at you. And I want to go back to our bodies are not against us. They were beautifully designed. They are for us. And they're screaming at us for attention. Pay attention. I'm trying to tell you something. Something's not working here. And I think that until we can really like, oh, the script hasn't been serving me.
And like even like the high blood pressure you were talking about, high blood pressure is linked to unresolved emotional issues. Yeah. Right?
Yeah.
And high cholesterol. So we usually see people high cholesterol, high blood pressure, high cholesterol as your channels of joy are just closing. And the body is always talking to us and giving us clue. We just use a diagnosis to say, well, it's this thing. We don't look at it as from an emotional standpoint. I also want to point out, like the universe, God, whatever you want to call it, if you are supposed to be in a different direction and you've had those inklings in you, but you keep ignoring them and keep ignoring them and keep ignoring them, not only will your body speak to you, but also you can, like, he'll come in and take you out or put you on another track. Like you completely lost your job and you probably shouldn't have been there as long as you were anyways, but you didn't listen, right?
Exactly.
The same thing literally is happening to my sister in real time. she's a counselor and she's worked for a school district for, I don't even know how many years. She could have retired last year. She started her own private practice counseling people and is doing really well with that. But she keeps holding on to her job that she's been at for how many years, even though she can retire. And I was like, girl, I'm like, what are you doing here? Like you're literally paying them to keep showing up, and I wouldn't say that if she was in pure bliss and joy and wasn't stressed and like having all these things going on. And anyway, she called me. She's like, yeah. So I haven't even had my office, and I let my administration know, like she had there was all these rats, like an infusion. I was gonna say an infection, like all of these rats that were in her office in the school. And she like sent the messages to maintenance operations or whatever they do. And they still haven't remedied it. So then she's like been in this classroom. And I'm like, girl, if that's not the universe telling you to get out of there, you have like rat feces and stuff all over your stuff. That is dead. That is dead there. You have to leave so you have new life coming in.
Yeah.
And we were just laughing because I'm like, girl, I mean, I don't know why you keep staying, like why, but it's her identity.
Yeah.
And you know what? And it's that scary place to be. Just because we're good at it and we do get some joy and we are making a difference, we feel we have to stay.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh my gosh, like I've just seen it too many times and have so many stories of like clients and just even my own, like, I'm just like, oh, but I know when you're in it, it feels so paralyzing to even make that decision to go. Like, I understand that fear. And like, there was a point where it's like, I felt like my physical body couldn't even make a decision. I was so like when people say they get paralyzed in fear, like I have experienced that.
Yep.
Until I did a lot of work, until I did some things and started to really imagine my life and what it is I wanted. And that's the cool thing about our brain. If your brain can start envisioning from a lens of opportunity and abundance, if you envision it, your body doesn't know if it's really happening or not. So if we can rewrite the narrative and take the fear out of it, I started to rewrite the narrative and to visualize in my brain what I was feeling like, what it could look like. And I was physically allowing myself to feel the joy versus feel the fear. It literally helped collapse time and step me into it so much faster. So that's another like hack that we can do, because our brain is very powerful, and whatever we're thinking is putting it in the quantum field. And it's literally an energetic signal. It's a antenna, and you will vibrate back at you. Everything will reflect back to you, the very thing that you're putting out. And it's amazing how we're just great. I mean, like our body and our minds, like it's so powerful, the infinite power within it. And it blows my mind that people don't realize it. It's
You're just not tapping into it. Yeah. Because of these scripts. Again, unpacking. I'm so glad you brought up, and this goes nicely into your values and your why, because I tell people, I give them exercises to help them identify these things, because I'm like, this is going to help you get in alignment with who you are. So I'll start with these simple questions, and they'll be like, I promise this is going somewhere. But when you're connected with your values and why, it keeps you out of that, because I talk to college students about this all the time. Why are you, I was on campus at Fresno State yesterday. We had a level up event. I'm asking, why are you majoring in this? What is in this about this attracts you? What is it that calls to you? What fills your cup? And just checking in with them to make sure they're in alignment before they go out into the world. Because like everybody, they're getting narratives from their home life, from their culture, from their upbringing, from society, so many things. Talk to me about how your why and your values have helped you really stay in alignment with that.
Well, I mean, I think it's just a knowing. I mean, why I do what I do now is because of what I have been through. But then when I get quiet and meditate, it's just a knowing and a remembrance of who I am and the infinite power that we all hold. And it's a power of paying it forward. It's a power of helping all of us remember. Like if everybody remembered like why they're here. Why are we sent to earth? Why does God say, hey, I'm going to send you down here. You're going to have like this amazing experience where you're going to feel all the polarities, the hot, the cold, the love, the hate, the ups, the downs, the ocean, the mountains. You're going to experience all this. You're going to see rainbows. You're going to see thunderstorms. And we're like, God, I don't even know what all that means, but okay. Like, I trust you. I love you. And he's like, you're going to go down there and you're going to just like, it's amazing. You're going to have all these experiences. Well, then we get down here and we decide, oh, thunderstorms are bad. Oh, this is what we should be doing, not this. And really, we're meant to be here and embrace all of it. Like you said, all the layers, like embrace all of it. But what happens is we start giving it an emotion and we start giving it a meaning.
Yeah.
And the moment we do that, we forget that we came from infinite source, that we came from this abundance of this love and purity. Because it's like, I think it was a Michael Singer, and I love his work, but it was like, the whole thing is being okay inside, no matter what's going on around you.
Yeah.
Having that inner peace, that baseline of all is well, because it is okay. We're just having this experience. And then we go back to source. Then we go back to God when we're done with it. And we go with the lessons.
Yeah.
So I think, the why is because I forgot.
Yeah.
When I was a young girl, I'm writing about this in my new book, but when I was a little girl, I experienced energy. I could see energy. I could everything was alive to me. And then I got made fun of. I was weird. And so I shut that down. I forgot that we come from infinite source. I started to live to society's expectations. And it wasn't until I started waking up again and into my 40s that all those gifts started coming back to me.
Yeah.
And so the reason I do what I do now is because all of us are born with those gifts. All of us are born through love and compassion and light. And yes, these horrific things can happen and they do not feel good.
Yeah.
But how we choose to respond or react, the lessons we extract versus staying a victim in them, that's everything. That's being human.
Yes.
And so forgetting where I came from, forgetting where we all come from, I think is scary. And the fact that I feel like I'm waking up, I'm doing the work that I'm doing now because it's for the highest good of all. And there's an infinite source that lives within me that I want to reflect back out in the world, just to remind everyone, we all have this. We're all this love and amazing light. And so that would be the why I do what I do. And I don't think people have to struggle as much as they're struggling. So the sooner we can wake up, the sooner we can get on with the God's work that we're sent here to do.
Yeah. As our healthiest, most authentic selves that we were designed to be. Absolutely. You really laid out well already within that description, living out of your own expectations versus others. You've made that shift. You recognized how what was being crippled within you, and were able to embrace the possibility of what was actually in you and go into that. Talk to me about what it was like because it's one thing when we shift and we start living out of our own expectations versus others. There's a lot of voices around us that are like, what are you doing? and there's a communication that goes with that. And I've learned, I was the over-explaining champion of the world for years. And a few years ago, my daughters were like, stop. You don't stop saying so many words. You don't need to do that. And so realizing that when you do make these shifts, there is some communication involved so that people understand how you're showing up in the world now. And also you don't have to over-explain it. So talk to me about your experience with that.
Well, I mean, I felt like a while ago, I felt like I had to explain everything to the T and convince people.
Yeah.
And I started to realize it's not my job to convince anyone of anything. Yeah. That's for sure. I get to show up and be what I am. And through that is going to be whether people, want to work with me or whatnot. So I think it's a state of being.
Mm-hmm.
Really.
Yeah. When we release that sense of responsibility that so many of us women carry, they're like, no. You're responsible for you. You're responsible for you. And within that comes accountability to help you tap into all that you're capable of and all that's within you to live as your healthiest, most authentic self. And sometimes making the hard choices that maybe they feel hard at the time, but as you move forward and look back, you're like, oh yeah, that was absolutely the thing that I had to do in the moment. And it is serving me now. And I can see the results of that. This is also, you have been able to what I call embrace your layers. You spoke to it a little bit ago, embracing all those pieces and parts of your story that make up who you are. Did you have a moment? I know we talked about that decision you made when you were 40, where you realized I got to take all of this about my life and my decisions and my choices and what's happened to me, and I've got to get okay with it. I don't have to love everything, but there needs to be an acknowledgement and an acceptance. Can you talk to me a little bit about what that was like for you?
Yeah. I mean, there's so many moments like that. And what I do with clients, and I did it for myself, which made all the difference in the world, is I do this visualization, or even you could just work through it, but where we envision our past in those moments in our past that most of us would want to crawl under a rock and not admit that we even did, or we were a part of, that we have shame around, regret around, or it was very scary. Something that happened to us that we didn't have full control over, and it happened to us.
Yeah.
So I dropped into all of those moments. And when I drop into all those moments and I meet my younger self, I go in and I try to extract the value gained. Like, what was it about me being made fun of that has become a superpower of mine? What is it about me that had neglect and being left out? How has that given me a superpower? How has being sexually assaulted in my past? How has that given me a superpower? So if we can drop into all of those moments, and leave the shame, the regret, the hate, the jealousy, leave all of that in the past, because we can't change it.
No.
And take with us those superpowers of the lesson learned. It literally helps us re-envision the past through the lens of power and opportunity, and really being grateful because I'm the woman I am today because of those experiences, which helps us re-envision a future. Because if we bring all those negative emotions with us in our current moment, then the future we're envisioning is through the lens of those things.
Yeah. And you stay in victim stance.
Correct. Yeah. And we were victims. I mean, so many of us have been victims in our lives, but we don't get to re-victimize ourselves. We don't get to be doing the victimizing now. Yeah. Because the moment that moment ended, which is probably less than, 5% of your life, you are the one that keeps re-victimizing yourself.
Yeah.
We are the ones that keep re-victimizing ourselves. So it's like, freaking A. And we don't want to have to fix it because we didn't do it,
Right. Like, it was somebody did this to us.
It wasn't my fault. Like, this is bullshit that I have to be the one to do it. But you know what? It's not, because the moment you step into that to start to rewrite your past and to start to work through it and leave it and move beyond it, that's where those superpowers come in.
Yeah.
And that's where you catapult forward.
Yeah.
So let's stop allowing those past to control everything in our current moment and to control our future. And that is something I actively work on all the time. I mean, it's like somebody, like one family member that, we don't always see eye to eye. And it's like getting to the point where no matter what this family member says to me or what comments they make, I'm just like, oh, isn't that interesting?
Mm-hmm.
I love you.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and just not having that visceral reaction of like, such BS. Like, why does he always have to do that? You know what I mean? And I actively am working on that, right? Like we all get to work on this and let it be a journey and let it be pleasurable to work on it versus like, oh my gosh, you know, because the work needs to be done, whether it's in this lifetime or another lifetime. I believe we have multiple lifetimes.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, you know, let's get to work.
Yeah. Well, I thought that you addressed the nuance of this is that the nuance of I can grieve that, but I can also celebrate who I am from it. And I can acknowledge what the strength is that's come out of me, the resilience, the learning, the curiosity, the kindness I can extend to myself, the no longer blaming myself for that being in that situation when sometimes shit just happens and we have to learn, but we get to decide what to do with it. We get to choose how we're going to move forward from that and not let it continue to have power over us and tap within our resources that are already available, waiting to be called on. We just have to give them the room and the love and the empathy and opportunity and acknowledgement to come out and serve us and help us to be who we were designed to be. Thank you so much for that. That was so good. In living out F.E.E.L, finding empowerment, embracing layers, which is what you are doing. Talk to me about how that has impacted your relationship with yourself as well as your relationship with other people.
Like the feelings that I have.
Yeah. And just the empowerment that you live in, like that going back to that, your ability to embrace your layers and see yourself the way you do and how that impacts the relationships that you're in.
Yeah. I mean, it's so powerful and it's fun. It's fun because when you fully step into it of who you are, you do get to live unapologetically and the outside world isn't controlling you anymore. And the outside world isn't going to dictate whether I have a good day or not. Like that power always comes back to me and my choices. Yeah. There can be moments that are like, ugh, but it's like, that doesn't have to ruin my whole day. I mean, some people will let, you know, one thing happen. It happened 1 minute in their day and they're allowing it to ruin the rest of their day or the whole rest of their week or the rest of their month.
Yeah.
Right. So, I think it's just like stepping into that and embodying that energy, that frequency of who we really are. And when we step into that, you know, other people that step into that frequency of who they truly are, like those are the people that literally I'm attracted to and they're attracted to me and we become friends. And some people that are like, what does this even freaking mean?
Yeah.
Like if they're like, what does this mean? But I'm actually interested in this. Like what? Like, I need this, but I don't even know what the heck you're talking about. Those are the clients that I usually end up getting.
Yeah.
And then the ones that are like, you are talking crazy. You're weird. Like, I don't know. Like those are people that my paths are not going to cross with.
Right.
You know, I have a lot, like not a lot, but I'll have people say, well, I'm a Christian because I talk about energy and I talk about, you know, and I always laugh because I'm Christian too. And I'm like, I don't like, if you're Christian, then you for sure believe in energy because you believe in prayer. You literally believe in thinking or speaking something and having it go to a higher power. If that's not energy exchange, I don't know what is. And then that prayer goes to that person and helps them heal. Like, heck yeah. Like if you believe in God and the divine and all of that, like, what do you mean? Like, so it's interesting. But again, I mean, there's a difference between, you know, spirituality and religion.
Exactly. Yes.
Definitely a difference. But yeah, like there's usually like, like the people that I'm like close to are ones that really embody that frequency. Yeah. We show up and we're in each other's presence. I don't need anything from them. They don't need anything from me. Yeah. We both lift each other up and we collaborate when we want. Like, it's just like, we don't need anything from each other. We're good with who we are and we're celebrating each other. Those are the friendships and those are the relationships I love. And the ones that are waking up to it, those are the clients that I end up getting. Yeah. And then the other ones, they're for somebody else.
Yeah. Yeah. It's that life giving. I love that when relationships become choices, they're not, we know we have all that we need within us. We don't need someone else to make us happy or fill a void or anything else. We already know how to tap into that. We have tapped into that. And then we draw energy and people. It's like this magnetic
Yeah.
energy that brings us together, and it's life-giving. It's not life-taking. And I think that's so important. Thank you so much for sharing that. As we wind down here, a couple of last, what I call rapid fire questions. Share 5 activities that nourish you.
Definitely spending time with my kids in my car, because then they can't leave and we can talk about all the things. That is so fun. Going hiking, being outside in nature is amazing. I love writing. I love just going to a super loud cafe and writing. Like I don't know what it is, but like the louder the space, the more I can concentrate. It seems chaotic, but love that. I love good food. I love like going out to eat and like a really good chef, like making things from scratch and like trying like new foods and things like that is really nourishing for me. And I love doing nothing on Sundays. Nothing. I have no responsibilities on Sundays except for just embracing and just being. Like those are like the things that nourish me the most.
I love that. I love that. I've got Sundays. I've got that protection around my Sunday too. I love it. It's my favorite day of the week. And talk to me about 5 words on how you want to feel the next 6 months.
5 words that I want to feel. I just think like, I mean, my company's Happy Whole You. I know it's only 5 words, but I just want to remain happy, feel whole inside, and just be who I am.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's just that state of being, which feels calm and complete.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. You talked about this earlier too. When you get to the space, you're able to have that contentment in the chaos. Like it gives you such a firm foundation to operate from. So good. All right. Dr. Anna Marie, tell people where they can find you, follow you, work with you. You have multiple resources out there. You've got books, you've got podcasts, you've got working with you in Bakersfield, all these things available. Talk to people about that. That will also be on our website at embracinglayers.com. So don't worry, you don't have to write it down if you're driving down the freeway right now, but share with us real quick where they can find you and follow you.
Yeah. Well, drannamarie.com is my personal website. Our company, Happy Whole You, is another website. And then Happy Whole You on Instagram, Dr. Anna Marie on Instagram. I mean, if your heart feels like you need to connect with me, you'll find a way.
Yes, you will. That's so true. And one last thought for our listeners today.
One last thought. I think just take a breath and remind yourself that like all is well. Like give yourself even just like 30 seconds or 1 minute to just be present with your breath and not think of anything and just all is well. And I think that's just a really great opportunity for like to ground yourself and just to be, because I believe we all get to have this inner peace. And as long as we allow ourselves to have that inner peace, we can have it. And we shouldn't let the outside world influence or steal our inner peace.
Yeah, I love that. That's a great way to wrap up this conversation. Thank you so much for taking time out of your very busy schedule to be with me today. I appreciate you so much. I'm so glad our paths crossed. I love how you show up in the world. I think it's so important, so powerful. Listeners, a lot to take from this. Go back, take notes, reach out to Dr. Anna Marie. If you're feeling called to, go to embracinglayers.com to check out all of our resources and ways that we can support you in all of this. Thanks for being with us today, and we'll see you next time on the F.E.E.L podcast.
Thank you.
Hello, and thank you so much for being with us today on this episode of the F.E.E.L podcast. If you would like more information on how you can apply these talking points that I share with our guests in each episode to your own life, really utilize this F.E.E.L framework, go to embracinglayers.com, fill out our contact form, and let's set up a free 30-minute consultation to talk about how you can start living your most authentic, organic, healthy, F.E.E.L fueled life. Thanks again for being with us today. We'll be back to you soon with another episode here on the F.E.E.L podcast.